let's get this started. Hi. Let me just do some noise adjustments. All right, I want you to be able to hear this, but I also need to be able to hear myself. Oh, and of course, at the end of a track, figures. All right, I'm just getting a couple of last-minute things figured out. Someday, I will have my background nice and chill, easy to find, that kind of thing. Easy to look at. Anyway, my name is Wynne Blue. I'm an artist and musician out of Seattle, Washington. If you're going to be pure about it, I'm from the metropolitan area, the Seattle metropolitan area. And if you want to get nitpicky, I am from Bothell. There's just something about that, the name of that town, that does not, I don't know, it's not very glamorous, right? It's just not. I don't care. I just don't. It's a nice little town. So we'll just go with that, right? Okay, at any rate, tonight I have a couple of choices for what to do as far as art goes. I want to make sure I'm not hissing, because I want you to be able to hear me. And I've maxed out everything in my control panels. But you know what? We're just doing this for you, so, right? Anyway, you remember my painting if you've been here before. I can work on this, and I probably should, because I haven't touched it since last week. And I also have a couple of other things that are coming down the pipe. One of them is I recently started a new game with friends. We're exploring Mice and Mystics. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but they come with these little miniatures, and I'm not familiar with miniatures. Not the kind that you play games with. I'm used to miniatures like the kind you put in a dollhouse, right? You put it in a dollhouse. But these are little figurines, and if you know Warhammer, if you know D&D, these are similar to that, but they are little mice, and they have to be colored a specific way. Otherwise, people get confused. So I will probably be doing that next week, along with some cartooning. And tonight I started doing some sculpture in the afternoon, and I thought, well, it might be nice to do that too. So I've got a lot of things to choose from today. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this painting. And the thing about doing the painting is I got a lot of paint mixing to do. And I'm not always good at keeping things in camera, but we're gonna try and make sure we have that. Gonna make sure we have that. I want you to be able to see everything. Trying to stifle a sneeze. I don't want to sneeze on stream. I mean, sneezing is natural, but I don't want to do it on stream. All right, let's go to the desktop camera. Ta-da! Alright, I'm gonna make some changes so that we can see everything that's going on. Alright, let's get a little closer. I might have to move my camera down a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing with this stuff over here. I've got so much polymer clay, y'all. So much. And I had a frog. Where did my damn frog go? We're not doing polymer clay. I just wanted to show off what I'm doing. So here's my little frog. He's not complete. Come on. I need to put some little legs on him. Some little webbed feet. Come on. Focus. Focus, my darling. I need to get a piece of paper I can put these things under. So I've got a little frog, and that's going to be part of the Mice and Mystics setup that I'll be doing in a couple of weeks. But for tonight, let's get our painting out. My easel is being uncooperative. Give me a minute. All right, here we go. Now, when I stream to both Twitch and YouTube, what ends up happening is I have both of them say, "Oh, well, your feed is not stable. It says it's unstable. Poor, unstable, blah, 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 blah." So I'm going to test it out. And then if it's not doing well, I'll be able to see it. There we go. I'll just put it there. We'll see how it goes. Okay, not sure what happened there. I lost YouTube, and now it's back. Okay, so I've moved my camera down a little bit. I'm going to move it so that you can actually see what's going on. I tend to move things close to me, so I'm going to move the camera closer. And then we'll just see what goes on, okay? Now what I need is, I need to get this frame, and it took me a little bit to realize what is off about this frame, and that is that it's not very square. I think that's part of its charm, though, right? Part of its charm is that it's just not square. It's like a rhombus. So I didn't finish this part up here where I had torn off some of the paint. So I'm gonna try and match this paint. And I'm also gonna try and match this so that I can create some depth and maybe make it look a lot less, I don't know, I want it to also have the character of what's down here. So it might not even end up the same color, right? I want to make sure that I don't repeat the same mistake I did last week where I set this aside and it ended up on my computer keyboard, and next thing you know, I'm typing all kinds of gibberish in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out a little bit because I did a lot of scraping off of this tile. Alright, I want it to be smooth for whatever it is that we do. Okay, so what I have here is a need to recreate this funky blue that's right there. And wouldn't you know it, this is it. But I don't want to use this. I would rather use an actual acrylic paint, because clearly this is not acrylic paint so much as it is just water soluble. And I don't want water soluble. I want something that's going to be around for a while. Oh, well, see, there you go. Wynne, why don't you use that? I'll tell you why. Because it's not acrylic. It's not acrylic and it won't cure. And if it doesn't cure, the painting will fade. Or if you have a flood or something crazy, then you end up with a damaged painting that can't be fixed. So with this, I'm going to start out with some cerulean blue. See how close that is? That is very, very close. And of course we'll use some titanium white to get it lightened up a little bit. Might take a little bit of time, but we'll get it. And if I need to mute it a little bit, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And instead of using the mixing white, I'm just going to use the plain old titanium white. I'm not quite sure what the mixing is. I think it has to do with, you know how there's a heavy body acrylic, and the heavy body has a lot more pigment. It's a lot more pigment heavy. And the mixing white is not as pigment heavy. Yeah, here we go. So transparent mixing white, not a lot of pigment right there, just enough. And then right here, we have something a lot more opaque. So this is what we're going to use. We won't need nearly as much of this cerulean blue as we will of the white, because we don't need a lot of color to lighten it up. You want to start with a lot of white and just add your paint little by little, because if you go the other way, you're just going to end up with way too much paint, and nobody wants that. I'm really pushing it with this much blue, but we don't have to lighten it up that much. It's not dark enough yet, but it'll get there. So close. Just a little more. We're going to be a little bit more conservative with the amount of blue we add from this point. We don't want it to get too dark. It's easier for it to be too light than too dark. It's so easy to just get impatient. See what I did there? It looks like an accident, but it wasn't. See, it's not quite there yet. We need more. We need more blue. Oh, I'm trying so hard not to get impatient. Still not blue enough. All right, folks, I'm just gonna go for it. It's so close. Oh, it's so tempting to just grab a scoop of this blue. that might be as close as we can get it. The thing is that it needs to be brightened up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I think I might find just a little bit of orange to brighten it up. Not yellow, but orange. Because I have this beautiful, beautiful orange that I use specifically for this kind of thing. And because it's in an, what do you call it, the aluminum tube, it's gonna take a little extra love. It'll also take a little more hand strength that I have. There we go. See, it's kind of goopy and old, but it still does what it needs to do. And if it doesn't work, we won't use it, right? Because when it comes to color, you either are an expert at it, or you just kind of toy with it. I think this is going to have to be it. This or adding yellow. Let's try just a little bit of yellow. I don't know, this seems really orangey to me as well. Maybe you can tell me. Because this yellow is primary yellow, and it is way brighter than the cadmium. And see, the thing is that what I've already mixed has kind of periwinkle to it. I don't want to paint with periwinkle right now. That's making it kind of turquoise, but that was a risk I was willing to take. Worst case scenario, I cover the entire blue area with this color, which wouldn't really be that bad. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get that brilliant Posca blue, but I don't care. Now let's get some of this medium that I use. Actually, I'm going to try a different one today. And this one is not gloss or anything like that. It's just a slow dry. This isn't going to be the same color, but we will figure it out, my friends. Terra Star. How's it going? It's good to see you again. Well, this is the one with the puppy. Here, let me show you. Ta-da! So far, so good. And as soon as I get this part up here all figured out, I'll be able to put finishing touches on it. Right now, I am correcting mistakes on the top half. Because what I managed to do is I masked off this area up here, and when I pulled the masking off, it also pulled off a bunch of paint. Dang it. The wall of the painting was my table. Yeah, I can see where that might be a little bit of confusing. But no, this is just the upper half, and it is so different from the lower half. It's kind of catches some people off guard, but I'm hoping to change that a little bit. Make it a little less messy. Trying to bring the style. Trying to bring the style down to something more consistent. Because right now it looks kind of like two different paintings on the same canvas. There we go, right there. So, Terra Star, what have you been up to? Are you doing any artwork of your own? I always like hearing about other people's projects. Sometimes it gives me ideas, and sometimes it makes me think about new art supplies. I try not to give unsolicited advice, but I do wax poetic about making sure people are at least trying to create. Oh yeah. That'll take up a bunch of your time. I've done that before. It was a long time ago. I was probably out of college, and Purim, yeah, I'm familiar with Purim. Is it Purim or Purim? Purim, like a Purim play. Purim. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Work with Jewish folk. Oh, yeah, that's always fun. I like getting involved and experiencing new things like that. Though I'm not entirely sure what Purim is. I figure at some point I will be schooled. A few years ago, before COVID, I went to my very first bat mitzvah, and I was horribly underdressed. I was so embarrassed. But nobody noticed, and if they did, they were too nice to say anything to me. about Queen Esther and how she saved the Jews. I'm going to have to look that one up. Well, there's a lot of stuff about bat mitzvahs that I didn't know, like if you're going to give money, you stick to lucky numbers. I didn't know any lucky numbers. I didn't know it was like a wedding where you dressed up. I went to the ceremony and it was very interesting, very educational, very inspiring. A lot of teenagers. Oh my gosh, so many teenagers. Yeah, so if you didn't know that, so if you get invited to a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah, and you give money, there is a specific amount that is considered lucky. And I can't remember what that number is right now. But if you know the host, if you know the mom, they will set you straight. And so will any Jewish person. I have Jewish people in my family, they married in. And I've also made music with Jewish people. And their friends, because I made friends at the bat mitzvah. And they said, you know what, when the next kid has their celebration, you just let me know and we will figure it out. Yeah, over 20 would be pretty lucky. Oh, and yeah. I think the magic number is 88, but I can't be sure. Because I looked up all this stuff after the event. Okay, so we're going to try a new color here. We need to get in where this orange, red, burgundy is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get close. It is a big number for a gift, but if it's treated like a wedding, if it's treated like a wedding, then, big gifts are part of the process. But I live in a part of the country that is high cost of living, and there's a big tech sector here. And we have Microsoft and Google and Meta. So a lot of people making a lot of money here. Little dog has arrived. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Let's see where my alizarin crimson is. That's a good start. A little bit of green, maybe. Yeah, I got me some phthalo green going on. Fred's a little upset at me right now because I didn't take her for a walk today. I feel terrible about it, but I had made a commitment and it went over. So sorry, little dog. That is a very close color. Interesting. Plus it's raining and you gotta paint a picture. And you know, I did this big thing to challenge myself. Usually I do smaller things like maybe this size, like a 5x5 or even these little mini canvases are kind of nice. If I inspire you, half my job has been fulfilled. I won't stop though, I'm going to keep inspiring you to paint. And it doesn't ever have to be perfect. Heaven knows, some of this that I've got on the canvas now is far from perfect. Okay, so I got my alizarin crimson here. So it's raining here, and Fred is one of those dogs that just does not like the rain. It's kind of sad. Red and green. Let's see. Not quite brown enough. Let's add a little more green. That looks like blackberry is what it looks like. I might add some sienna to this to give it a little bit of something. Because we're working with opposites here. With the crimson and with the green, they come together and they make like a black-brown, you know? It does have to look tasty, oh my gosh. And to think some of the classics, the still life paintings, it's all full of fruit. It's like, how dare you? How dare you make me so hungry? All right. I saw a really great joke on the internet recently. Because we have raw sienna and we have burnt sienna. It's like, is there nobody who knows how to cook sienna properly? It's either raw or it's burnt. Although I think the color they were referring to was umber. Which might as well be the same thing. Alright, I'm going to use the raw sienna. Simply because it seems like it has a little bit more. I'll take a medium rare sienna. As will I, my friend, as will I. So we're using a bit of the color wheel to make sure that we've got the right color. And what I'm hoping for is kind of a reddish brown like this up here. It's kind of a plum. Oh, there I am with food again. I don't want to use white just yet. I just want to bring it up. And what the sienna will do is it add a bit of yellow that the green didn't get to. There we go, that's a nice plum. Let's see how close I got. Just adding a little bit of white to double check that plum color. Yeah, that works really well. Although I might add a little bit more red. There we go. All right, there we go. I got an ad starting up in about a minute. Which my Twitch friends will see, but my YouTube folks will not. I am not taking a break. You'll still be able to see me. A little more red, just a little. There we go. Oh, what a beautiful plum. I know it doesn't look like plum, but it is plum. Just a little more white. It's a very plum brown there. All right. I'm going to add a whole bunch of this stuff to it. And maybe a little more red. I like that it's close to red, not quite red. Let's see how well we can do this. Let's see if we can make a difference in this frame. Might add just a little bit of gloss. There we go. The gloss will make it a little translucent. so I can put it on in layers. So if it doesn't work out right out of the tank here, alright, I don't think I really need it to be translucent right now. Interesting. It's not as bold as I wanted it to be. Let's not get excited. I need to dilute some of this here. So I'm taking some of the Stay Dry medium and I'm just diluting that. It does, and that's what I was hoping for. It does add a lot of depth. It also changes a few things. I wanted it to change the overall color impact so that it doesn't just look like a red frame. I want there to be something that definitely gives it some dimension. And it's a plum, so I think the bit of white that I put in here might have been a bad idea, but I'm not sure if it bothers me, you know? It's more of a inconvenience, because the white has made it kind of dull. It could also be that because I used a Posca pen to put down the original plum color, that I'm blending a little bit with it, moving it around. You know, if you've ever been in school, like as a kid, and they give you these tempera paints. You know, it's a little powder mixed with water. It's kind of chalky. Well, that's kind of what Posca paint is. Because this Posca paint has been on this canvas for months. Literal months. And where acrylic paint would have gone ahead and cured and been unmovable, you look at the Posca paint with the thought of water and it just comes right off. Easy cleanup, but not great for something that you want to last a while. Excuse me. I'm all princessy today. I was hoping to clean up a few lines over here, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that I'm just not quite there yet as a painter. Love the mixing of mediums. Enduring the lessons of what can be mixed is not the best. I once ran to painting after thinking the outline I did was in waterproof ink. Oh no. Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry. I hope you were able to salvage it. That would have been interesting right there. Let's move the paint into the canvas, and not in a good way. Oh, speaking of putting the paint in the canvas, here we go. Here's a little adventure for you. That is not good. Here we go. I got a little bit of blue in there, a little bit of white. Crap. Luckily, it's still wet, so discovering it right away is a good thing. Oh, I can't believe I did that. That's crazy. Yeah, well, it's mixed with a little bit of medium, and some of the paint had already dried a little bit on my palette. Whoops. It came off a little better than I thought it would, too. I didn't think it'd be ruined, but I definitely thought I had myself a much bigger problem. I am going to take this and put it somewhere else besides my workplace. Okay, that's a little better. Dang. There's still a bit of wet paint under here, but when I turn this around, it's just going to touch my laptop, and I'm not too concerned about ruining my laptop with paint. Let's see if I can move my camera a little closer, just a little. There we go. Alright, so I think the next thing was... Oh, come on. You can do this. Come on, camera. There we go. Thank you. I'm going to hit this area right here, but with some fresh paint. Now, my apologies to my YouTube viewers if you all have been saying stuff and I've missed it. I'm going to blame Google for that one. Google owns YouTube, and fun fact, I was there when they bought it. Because Google used to have a competing product back in 2006 called Google Video. Very exciting, I know. Couldn't be G Video or something else video or Video Rainbow, which is kind of a dumb name, but I was there when they bought YouTube. I was there for a lot of the first internet celebrities. Like Peter Pan. That was an interesting fella. The Chinese Backstreet Boys. The Numa Numa guy. Star Wars kid. Leave Brittany alone. All that stuff. And you don't hear of those people anymore, but they are still going strong. I love going back to those names and seeing where they are today. Oh, thank you, Tara Star. Oh, I appreciate that so much. Give you a little internet history lesson with your artwork today. There we go. Not perfect, but it's definitely enough to do something. Might add a little bit of this brown, this plum to some edges. I don't get bits very often, so even though I say it nice in an ASMR type voice, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Little by little, I'm learning a little bit more about Twitch and how to relax in front of the camera, that kind of stuff. And learning about how to stream to YouTube at the same time. That was a lot of fun. Just gonna put some dark stuff on the edges of these stars. These nautical navy stars. So if I can finish this up during this session, then the next session I may move on to something I've never done before. And that would be painting miniatures. Because I got a game recently, not D&D, not Warhammer, but it comes with these little figurines that need painting. And I've never done that before. I thought maybe I should try it. And they're cute little figures too. They're little mice. Little mice in battle armor and cloaks holding weapons and mage staffs, and it just looks fun. And I might keep doing it for a couple of weeks, or I will decide it's not for me. What a pain in the neck. What was I thinking? That's going to be a crazy one. Let's see, I want to put some shadow here. But I think I might need to do a little mixing. I'm not going to do anything fancy for mixing. I'm just going to work with what this color is over here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's put it a little closer. So I'm taking some of this phthalo green and the gloss liquid. And I'm also going to take this raw sienna, the stuff nobody can figure out how to cook. So I'm going to work with these two colors until I find something that actually works for a shadow over here. And the gloss is going to make it so it's more of a wash than an actual color. Because you can see how clear this is. This is very clear. Normally I would use a, what would I do? I would normally use, oh gosh, I forgot my thing here. A palette knife to mix the colors. But it just doesn't seem necessary at the moment. I'm not really working with that much paint. All right, let's see what we can do over here. I think I might need a little bit more of the plum to even this out because it's too bright. Oh, hey Zainab. Is it Zainab? There we go. I'm doing good. Very nice to see you. I'm glad you could stop by. What's going on with you? Got some people over on YouTube. Don't get too confused over there, Twitch. I'm trying to talk to everybody. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, and I'm enjoying my painting stuff, although mixing kind of gets a little weird. All right, I think I might have it. Yeah. Here we go. Suffering on YouTube? No, don't suffer. That sounds terrible. Is there just not enough really good stuff, or have you been watching the news? I know when I suffer on YouTube, it's usually because I'm watching too much of the news. Although I did hear some good news today. My good news was all about, well, you know how we have streaming services and it's all kind of, it adds up, you know? We've been considering going back to cable just simply because it's less nickel and dime kind of things. I mean, I love my streaming exclusive stuff. It's great. It just gets pricey, you know? 740 subs. Can't do live streams. Oh, that's not good. Now, what do they think you did to disable it? Was it... That just seems really cruel for somebody who's a live streamer. That's not good. I mean, some people make their bread and butter off of YouTube. You'd think they'd be nicer. Although, I find that some of the problems that I have with internet, you know, like accounts, it's because a lot of that censorship, a lot of that breaking down things, it's mostly AI bots. They come in and they think they see something and they have no context. Not good, not good. Of course, it's kind of hard for me to have been in those shoes, although I have had my account just put on hold. Oh, showed your parrot. Oh my gosh. But it's a burb. It's a burb. Be nice to the burbs. Oh, poor buddy. Well, they should be. They should be waiting for you. So Zainab has a whole bunch of subs but can't do live streams because YouTube disabled it. It's only been a couple of days. Well, with 750 people wanting to see you and visit, that's just not right. I hope you were able to appeal it, because I don't know about you, but as much as we want our pets to be babies, no, they're not babies. They are animals. They are our animals and we love them. Isn't there a whole subset of YouTubers that actually do content with kids in them? I've seen many documentaries. I watch way too many documentaries. YouTube is jealous of your success. Honey, I believe it 100%. And I hope you get to 1,000. I hope you get to 1,000 followers. Subscriptions. 1,000 subs. I am just getting started. If I'm only been streaming regularly for less than a year on YouTube. I don't expect a lot, but it's kind of nice to meet new people and learn new things. My husband likes watching people make things out of wood. I find that to be incredibly dull. But hey, if he's watching that, make it happen, man. Make it happen. He also likes to watch people paint miniatures. Those little toy soldiers known as Warhammer. 3 months. So so it's been over 3 months, Zainab, since they shut you down. Or at least shut down live streaming. So when it was 3 months? Maybe some new content. Hanging out with the burbs. Let's look at this for a second. Yeah, I think this right over here is probably the only place where I'm gonna find what I'm looking for here. Been 3 months since you started YouTube. 700 something subs for your 3 months. That's pretty good. I'd say that is some fantastic success. I might have to take some pointers. Yeah, 50 something hours. Yeah, that's over 2 days. Yeah. That's a long time, especially if you are used to streaming every day. A friend of mine got a job, got a day job, and doesn't have time to do streaming anymore, and I'm pretty sure her followers are kind of, where did she go? So are you able to, so your account's been disabled. Are you able to do anything like upload video or write a post on your channel? Sometimes I'll do that. I don't know who reads it, but sometimes I'll post a little note. I have a huge fan base, like 10 people came daily to support. We're besties. I miss all of them so much. Oh, yeah. Like, motivation from your fans is huge. From your viewers, it's just a lovely feeling to have people come back and say stuff. And I love talking to them about art and sometimes about music and music history. All right, I'm going to turn this around. But first I'm going to look and see if there's anything I truly missed. Yeah, I think I might have overkilled on that over there. So let's see what we've got. I'm going to move my camera back up a bit. Oh. Okay, so dog and eagle. I would still like to work a little bit more on that frame. We talk about random stuff, like you should not keep flour in the refrigerator. I hadn't ever considered putting flour in my refrigerator. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, looks like I got a little bit of schmutz right there. Might have a little bit of schmutz there. Have you ever made edible cookie dough? I don't know how you feel about chocolate chip cookie dough. But I made some the other night, and I didn't have to refrigerate the flour, but I sure did have to nuke it. Because you can't use raw flour to make edible cookie dough. Let's clean up a little bit more here. All right. I think I'm going to need a little bit more gray in this up here. I'm going to have to find a gray. Yeah, let's get that gray going. Well, we just talk about what shows up in the chat. A little bit of art history, a little bit of motivation. Sometimes I do cartooning, sometimes I do painting, and then I do some sculpture. That's kind of nice. Oh, I do not have any room on that palette. So I think I'm going to use this one. And this time I'm going to put my palette up here, and I'm not going to put my painting in it. That was heartbreaking. Okay, so black and white. Actually, I think I might use some of this plum and add a little something else to it. Let's try and get a little darker in here. Let's see. Alizarin crimson. Phthalo green. All right. It's very red. I don't want it to be red. I want it to be more neutral. Well, I hope that YouTube comes to its senses. Because it's a freaking bird. It's your bird. And who are they? See, this is one reason I don't like AI. I don't like AI because it misjudges things so easily. Some people love it. They like to do all kinds of things with it. The only thing I've ever used AI for is to decipher legal papers, legal agreements. Because it's really good at doing that. Alright. Yeah, that looks a little more gray-black right there. I'm going to add a little white to that. But first, I need to get more paint on me, apparently. see, where did the white go? Let's not let it go to waste. I mean, it's fun to peel off, but we don't need to waste it. Let's not waste it. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of these palettes that have the wells in them. I'm just not really. I like being able to see my colors a little better without cramming paint into the crevices of my paintbrushes. I just don't want to do that. We're going to get some Stay Dry and some gloss medium in here. Those do two different things. One of them keeps the paint from drying too quickly. And the other one allows you to create a glaze with the paint that you just mixed. And that way, you don't have to dilute it with water, and it's still workable. See if we can get a lovely gray in here somewhere. That looks like a decent gray. It's a little more than what I would want. Just want something subtle. There we go. I also want this to be a little, just a skosh darker, so that I can water it down and it will have the effect that I want. Very nice. It seems very translucent right now. At least on this end it does. So watch, it's very translucent. Alright, it looks like I got paint on my equipment here. Hang on. Well, I guess when I take these cables to my next show, everybody will know it's mine. Okay. So I'm pushing some things out of the way, and let's give this a shot. Okay, so far so good. And yes, it's supposed to create a dull type finish over the top. Because I know everybody can't see the message, I would just like to thank everybody who just kind of comes and hangs out. I really hope that if you don't learn something, that the sound of my voice allows you to chill out with your favorite beverage, favorite person or non-person, that you can just hang out. It's okay to nap. It's okay to just relax and let the music take you. It's okay. I'm here for you as a friend, as a teacher, as a sounding board, or an educator. I've been walking the earth quite some time. And I know stuff. You know stuff too. I don't think all of us can know all the stuff. There are people out there 10, 20, 30 years older than me. They've seen a lot of life. And some of them still don't know a damn thing. Live and learn, people. It's good for you. There we go. For a minute, I thought we were going to be without some sound. Oh, almost had another disaster. Oh, my husband's been cooking. And God knows what he's cooking. It smells pretty good, though. That might be a bit too dull for me right there. little ASMR, a little gurgle. Gotta do a little thing. Well, if any of you out there are streamers, whether you've done it for months, years, weeks, days, I hope the internet is kind to you. And if it's not, oh, I do wish you strength. So many people out there just don't get it. They don't understand that we're all humans, you know? I had to bump ahead a little bit. They seem to think that if you're on a camera, that somehow you're invincible. Maybe I am. Maybe. When is the last time you felt invincible? I know some of you are struggling with that one. What do you mean invincible? I mean that feeling where nothing can ruin your day. Nobody can bring you down. You're having a lot of fun. You're around people you love, doing things you love. That kind of invincible. I'd have to say that the last time I felt truly invincible, it was 2023. And my band had just reunited to do one more show. It was streamed on the internet too. Now let me tell you, there's nothing quite so powerful as doing something you love and being able to share it with someone else. Or in my case, as many friends as would fit in that venue. Oh, it felt so wonderful. Nobody could bring me down. Somebody could come in off the street and tell me that I sucked at what I do. And I would have just told them, and? What's your point, random stranger? So think of that time when nobody in the world can mess with you. I want you to feel that now whether it's morning or evening. Focus on that feeling. It feels good. My Twitch folks, I need 2.5 minutes to pay my bills. But if you're on YouTube, nothing will happen to you. I just need to dull this thing down just a little bit more. Just a little more. Oh, somebody's cooking. I can smell it from here. It smells delicious. I hope there's vegetables. I feel like I haven't had enough of those lately. And then when I'm done, I think I might dip into some of that edible cookie dough that I made yesterday. I don't even remember where I got the recipe. Probably the internet. It's always the internet. All right. I don't think I'm going to play with this. I'm not going to play with this particular part of the painting anymore today. I'm going to take a good look at what I've got at the bottom here. Let's see what I got. Yeah, I'd like to darken this up a little bit. Let's back up on the camera so we can see the whole thing. About as much as we'll be able to get in the frame. That doesn't look too bad. There's some parts that need to dry a little bit. Might need some blending. I feel like I need to go over this with some sort of muted color because it's a little too bright compared to this guy down here. Overwork that too much. But let's see. I just need to go over this. So I think that's what I'll end up doing. It's just going over this piping right here. Make sure I've got the right thing going on. I got a new subscriber. Thank you, Zainab. Zainab Khalid. Zainab Khalid -1 over on YouTube. As soon as that block comes off of her channel, just go over there and see what she's all about. She, I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption about pronouns. Pardon me. The only reason I made an assumption like that is I went to grammar school with a young woman named Zainab. I tried to look her up, but apparently her name is a little more common. Yeah, it's like John Smith, Mary Jones. I did not expect that. I probably should have, but I don't. Last time I talked to her, I think I was probably 13. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go over to her channel. Jones is very Smith-esque, yes. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, Zainab is an artist. Oh, looks pretty good. A lot of stuff in pencils. Very nice. You know what? She's got 760 subs. I'm going to give her one more. Wonderful stuff. There's also some anime in there, and I'm not one for anime. But you know what? It's very popular, and if you do it well, you do it well. Jones is very Smith-esque. This is true. And Khan is also a very common name. I think there's a camaraderie in having a name that is common. It's almost like having a whole bunch of family, you know? I once saw a documentary, a young man named Patel. I think the documentary was called Meet the Patels. And the story was about how he wanted to get married to his girlfriend, but his parents wanted to arrange a marriage for him. He's like, you can try. And so he walked everybody through the process of how his parents were looking for a bride for him. Which I thought was fascinating because I guess when you have a name like Patel in India, you have a network of other families named Patel, and they all talk to each other. They all talk to each other about fixing up their sons with brides and their daughters with husbands. They even have these dossiers on every person to see that they exchange, to see who's a good match. I don't know if I could do that. Because I have a feeling my parents would not be quite so what's the word I'm looking for? Thorough. I don't think my parents would be so thorough. Okay, so we want navy, but I don't want to use phthalo blue right out of the tube. Where did I put that phthalo? This is nothing like the cerulean blue. It's very navy on the whole by itself. to put a link in my chats, both YouTube and in Twitch, so you can see this young person. I'm assuming you're young. There's a youthful joy about you. And you can go check out some of their stuff. So I've got this and I've got orange. Let's throw just a little bit of orange in there to make sure that we have just the right kind of blue that goes navy on here. I know that's a lot of orange to put in there, but this stuff, it is old and it needs help. Luckily, paint is not terribly expensive, so I can get me a new tube if I want. All right, there we go. You look great. Seeing the whole painting, you should see it just kind of hanging out in my room when I'm not working on it. I have an Insta, and you can see kind of where I was a week or two ago, and it looks really nice. Alright, so I'm going to change the camera. There we go. And let's get the actual camera a little closer. I need this closer to me. There we go. Now I'm going to find a brush that I don't care too much about. See, I like this filbert. I really like it. It's easy to take care of. It doesn't fall apart or anything on me. It's kind of one that I collected over the years. But I don't want to use it to mix paint. So I'm going to find one that is not that awesome. Oh, there we go. So this is an artist's loft brush, like the kind they sell in little packages at the Michaels. And I'm going to use this to do a little bit of mixing. And let me tell you, this phthalo blue, it is very much a stainer. Don't get it on your clothes. If you like your synthetic brushes and you're ready to deal with that stain, got to think about that for a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I just stuck my finger in more paint. I swear I wear more paint than I actually use sometimes. Okay. Some more of this awful orange. It's the consistency of, forgive me, it's the consistency of snot. But I don't have the right color. And when it comes to using stuff out of the tubes, mixing to get the right shade, that's kind of important. You can easily do that with the folk art or the craft smart stuff that you get at the, in those tubes. Those are fun. I'm pretty sure that if you really wanted to, you can make yourself a nice painting with those. But I'll tell you what, I have bought these paints, and by God, I'm going to use them. All right, that looks like a pretty good navy. And I'm going to start out with the Stay Wet stuff, because I definitely need that. A little bit of the gloss to give it just a little bit of translucence, because without the translucence, if I put it someplace where it doesn't belong, I can't exactly do that easily with just the paint. Great texture on the bed. I'm so bad with fluff. I'm going to tell you, Tara, getting that texture was a headache. But it's a happy accident. A very happy accident. Alright, so let's get the tiny brush and take a deep breath, because these lines, sometimes they don't go the way we want them to. All right. And I might have to go over it again. Come on. I've been thinking I want to work with oils again. Because that would be super nice. Thank you, Tara, for stopping by. It was so nice to talk to you. I hope I'll see you next week when I start something new, or I'm still working on this. So nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time. I'll be here. Okay. All right. Now I think what I'm gonna need to do at some point is flesh out this little bed. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that tonight, because I am kind of getting hungry. Do I really need to do that? No, I don't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the black that I've already created over here. And I'm going to make a gloss with it. And I'm going to go over this navy because I want it to be dark. But I don't want it to be black. I just want to darken it a little bit. And if you were with us earlier, you know that this isn't actually black. It's a mix of phthalo green, alizarin crimson, and raw umber, or as my paint thing says, raw sienna, which is maybe a little different, I'm not sure. I'm not really thinking about that right now. But by not using black right out of the tube, it keeps it from seeming unnatural. It's a nice effect. Let's see if there's something else I can put in here. Maybe with a larger brush. Because I really don't want to walk away with something quite so unfinished, you know? Let's see. Now I'm taking some more of this alizarin crimson, and I'm going to add just a little bit of it to this gray. Give it kind of a pink gray tone. I have my reasons. At this point, it's kind of important to not use direct paint, but to use something that's been diluted with a medium. Dilute it with a medium, dilute it with water. I am using this slow drying extender for acrylic colors. However, it does says gloss. It does say gloss. I'm not really keen on gloss, but so far, nobody's died, right? It's kind of important. Okay. Just one more tiny detail. All right, good. say this is what happens when you have too much paint, too soon, too many layers. Instead of putting paint on, you end up taking paint off. That's not good. And you know, you see this little dog. Let me give you a quick visit with my friend Freddie over here. Oh, she's out cold. Bless her little heart. Good girl, Freddie. Just not a care in the world. But she is waiting for me to, Now, if you're wondering why she's out there at the outside of my door, this office is a no pet zone for a couple of reasons. One, I'm allergic to my dog. I take a lot of medications to make sure that I can give her the attention and the love that a good dog deserves. And she is a good dog. Good dog, Freddie. Good girl. And, well, the cat's not allowed in here either, but I'm pretty sure he comes in here after I've gone to bed, putting his nose where it doesn't belong. Freaking cats. Oh, I'm allergic to cats too, but the cool thing about being allergic to cats is that there are options for people who love cats but are allergic to them. There's that cat food that you can give them that has the FeLD1 antibody or antigen in it, and it makes your cat less allergenic. And that's what my boy is on. He's on a special food. Unfortunately, he has to eat a lot of it, and now he's a chunk. So let's get a good look at what I've got so far. Well, that's hardly high enough, is it? Everything is all. I hope you didn't get seasick from that. But here we are. That's the whole shebang. All from this. And yes, I know the picture on the wall is crooked. This is me not caring. Ta-da! So I might do some more muting of whatever's up here. A painting is never really done, you know? So, I'm gonna go get something to eat because I have definitely been online for quite some bit of time. Oh, I am all the way down here. My paints, my palettes are out of the way. I'm not gonna get my hands in them again. It's nothing quite like trying to get your act together and situate stuff and have it all fall apart. Or at least get up all over your clothes and your hands. I think I did much better than I usually do. I don't have anything on my clothes yet. That's very important. Oh, hey beach doggy, have you been lurking? I love my lurkers. So grateful for you all. Well, tonight, like most nights, I am not going to go raid into anybody else. I don't think that's really necessary right now. I've been told that yes, you need to raid every single time. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do that. That's a lot of stress. I haven't quite mastered it, you know? Why do that? So we've got our painting almost done. I'm going to put it up here on my easel. Maybe it'll be an entry in an art show, who knows. At any rate, I'm glad that you are with me today. Thank you for hanging out, whether you are watching me live or watching the replay. It's always nice to have some company, and I hope I brought you a little bit of maybe a nap. Maybe you learned something new. Maybe you are inspired to do your own thing. Either way, I'm glad you were here. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sign off, but not without first saying I do a music stream on Mondays, so if you want to hear me with a little more energy in my voice, Mondays are the way to go. Otherwise, keep an eye out for me, hit your subscribe button or your follow, and let's make a habit of this, shall we? I want you to be good to yourself. I want you to be good to each other. And I want you to let someone be good to you. Why? Because I love you and I want you to be happy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Not in this really terrible, weird, unpredictable world. We're going to be okay. And I'll see you either on Monday or next Wednesday, okay? Take care of yourself.